Hello and welcome to today's TechBuzz PD video. My name is Michael Callahan and I'm one of the K-12 digital learning specialists. Today we're going to be continuing with our MCAS training videos. More specifically, we're going to be covering student status within the sessions, student progression within the test itself, so what question they've answered, what they visited, as well as how to resume a student if the student has exited the test. Before we get started, I want to confirm that we are in the Brown site, so I can see Brown visuals. I see training at the top left. We're in the Brown site. We're in good shape. And the second thing I want to confirm is that we are in the correct testing accommodation window. I see spring 2018, MCAS grades 3 to 8. We're in the right window, but if you happen to not be in the right window, you can just click on it, find the right window, and select it. So let's get started. We're going to come over to testing. Click on this drop-down menu, select Students in Session. Then we're going to come over to Add a Session, click on the button, and type in GR. This will pull up all the sessions for the school, and I will find the session that I want, or your session in this case. Add Selected, and it brings up the summary of the session itself. We can see at the top we have some visual cues about where the students are and what their status is. On the right-hand side, we have a key as to what those are. So gray is ready, so we have 6 gray students, so that means they're in ready mode, they're ready to begin testing. We have 3 in resume, so those students have been resumed in the system, they can go and actively log in and start testing. We have 2 in green, so they're actively testing currently, and then we have 13 that have exited and will need to be resumed in order to complete the test. And finally, we have 1 blue, which means we have 1 student that has completed the session. If I want to scroll down a little bit further, I can look at individually each student, where they are. So I have a bunch that have been resumed, a handful that have exited, a couple of ready, and I can see my 2 active students here, as well as my completed student here. If I want to look at where my students are in terms of progression within the test, I can just click on a selected student, whether they're exited, resumed, or active, even completed as well. And I can look through this window to see kind of what questions they visited, what they answered, not what they answered, but that they've answered the questions. We can see when it was last updated, and we can see kind of what those questions typically are. We see content and no response required here. We can exit out. I can click on another student. Again, I can see my completed student. I see my students gone through all the questions. They've looked at them all, and they've answered them. So that's seeing how the students have progressed to the test. But what if you want to have an exited student that needs to start or continue testing? Well, we go to an exited student. We just click on this drop-down arrow, and we select Resume. That changes that student from exited to resume in the system, and that means that student on their device can go in and log in and resume the session. If you do not do this step, the student will see Resume as grayed out, and you'll need to come in here, resume like we just did, and the student will have to refresh their testing session on their device, and they are good to go. It should turn blue, and they can continue testing. Thank you for joining us for today's TechBuzz PD video. I hope you follow us for another video in the future, and have a great day.